to be with my friend Alexandra. Dr. Nicsze is amazing, and we speak very often, right? We have almost monthly meetings, and she's been doing some incredible things. But I think we're going to try to take some questions from the audience for a little while. So let's see, which side is first? No questions, this is great. All right. Raise your hand if you have a question. Oh, it's my friend. Sally's mic is not on, that's fine. He has a loud voice, he can shout it. Oh, there we go.
Good morning. A question I get very often is the difference between saturated and unsaturated fatty acids.
Okay, great. So let me just repeat that question. So the question is, what is the difference between saturated and unsaturated fatty acids? All right? There is a chemical structure difference. You have some props that we could use, right?
Of course I have. Yeah.
Let's get those out.
Yes, so thank you for this amazing question, because I think it's a topic what is really important, and a lot of people don't understand the difference, and we hear such a lot about this topic: saturated, unsaturated fatty acids, trans fatty acids, and also what is the role, and I think because of that the medical doctor is asking that question, what is the role of omega-3 in that? So maybe a few of you were at convention in Brussels. Who was at convention? And maybe you remember I had a special vessel there with me. It was transparent, right? It was transparent because we could see the inside. Oh, it's trans fatty acid. Oh, yeah, it just came. But it will not, we have it. So if we have a look at fatty acids, then at first we have to talk about trans fats. And trans fats, they don't belong in the body. We have this more in ultra-processed food, right? Yeah. And the problem is that these trans fats, they are artificial, not made for the cell membrane, and they can destroy the cell membrane, and they can lead to chronic inflammation. So they are not good. That doesn't mean that you can't eat ultra-processed food, because the life is so short and we are human beings and we love to have fun, right?
But you shouldn't maybe live off of ultra-processed foods. On occasion, maybe okay, but not every day.
Yeah, that's true. So let's throw maybe one aside.
Yeah.
Okay, and then let's go into the saturated fatty acids. And the saturated fatty acids, they are stiff. They are stiff and not so flexible, not so movable. So these are saturated fatty acids built in a cell membrane. And I think we have to clarify first that fatty acids, they can build up the cell membrane together with cholesterol. And if we have a lot of saturated fatty acids like butter, meat, maybe some baking stuff, then the membrane of the cell becomes stiff and unflexible. And the cells, they need communication. The cell membrane needs to be fluid. And we need some of them. So of course it's okay to eat butter and fatty meat. It's totally okay, because we need it also for stability. But we don't have so much place in between, and it's stiff.
We need them on occasion, again.
Yes.
On occasion.
Yes. But I love butter, so let's throw all of that aside. And then we have the unsaturated fatty acids. And we have different unsaturated fatty acids. We have the mono and the polyunsaturated fatty acids. And this is a monounsaturated fatty acid, like omega-9.
Sure.
We have the omega-9 in olive oil, for example, in the healthy olive oil. And an unsaturated fatty acids has double bonds, and it's more flexible. So if you imagine you have now a few of them, near of them, then you have more flexibility and you have space in between. And because of this space in between, it's more stable. It's flexible, but it's stable altogether. So let's throw what healthy meat. We also would like to eat healthy, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, olive oil.
So olive oil, there's other sources, cold water fish, right? Omega-3s.
Yes.
From like, for instance, what's the product? Maybe it's like E Omega, great source of these. Perhaps you've heard of this before. So, yes.
Yeah,
right.
and the omega-3 is polyunsaturated fatty acids.
Yes.
And it's so polyunsaturated that I can't show you a straw because the straw is still too stiff. So it's so ultra fluid, like a scarf. So it's ultra fluid and it can make your cells more flexible, more fluid. And because of that, they have a better function. And because of a better function, you have a better hormone production. You have a better function of everywhere in your body where you have cells. And I think this is so amazing. And if we think about omega-3s like DHA or EPA, the DHA we have in the brain. And if our cells in the brain are fluid, our cognition is better.
Yeah.
So let's put it aside. So now we have maybe normal cell.
Right. Made up of a number of those things.
Made up of a number of those
Cell
things.
membrane.
Yeah. And I have to say that 60% of the over 40 years old people have plaques in the vessels. And what are plaques? Plaques are LDL, but oxidized LDL. And why is LDL oxidizing? Because of our unhealthy lifestyle. Not only the food, also everything what we have in the wellness chart. Lack of sleep, a lot of stress, toxins. And then the oxidized LDL can damage your vessel. And when you have this damage, this scratching in your vessel, then you have an ideal place for plaque building up.
Right. The role of cholesterol is to help put a band-aid or a bandage over any of that damage done to the vessel. So it does its job, which is it lays down on the wall of the vessel, creating layers and layers and layers of plaque.
Yeah, and this is the bad cholesterol, right? The LDL. We have also the good cholesterol, the HDL. So we say in Germany it's the Hab dich lieb, so the how do I love you cholesterol. This is the good one. And this is the bad one, the LDL. And the problem is if the plaque building up is big, then we have not enough space in our vessels, and the vessels get also stiff because we have an unhealthy lifestyle, not a lot of omega-3, and the cells in our vessel became more stiff and unflexible. But if a plaque will rupture, then this could be happening.
Yeah.
Please pull it.
Major problem.
Yeah. And then it might be too late.
Blood no longer flows through that vessel.
Yeah, so we can put bad decisions in our body,
Yeah, bad decisions.
but not too much of that.
That's right.
We need a balance. And I think if we understand how that works, and if we understand how many people outside are searching natural solutions for a better lifestyle, for a good health, for prevention, then we know that they need us. They need you, all of you, the wellness advocates who are leaders and who would like to grow up their business with people they can give them natural solutions for all their problems. And I think this is really amazing that with knowledge and with care, science can serve. We can all serve the people outside and help them.
Yeah, we do have to learn to speak the language of science, right? Because many people out there maybe aren't like us and already see that there's a great benefit to natural things. They want to know, is there some science to this? And we have to find ways to speak that language. So let me give you one other quick example. Can I have, Frederick, are you still ready? Can you come up for me? I need two other men. Can two other men come up? I know the room is full of women, but I need two men. 2 more and then 3 people. Who else will come up? All right.
First one.
Peter,
right?
Yes?
Yeah.
Very good. Come on up for me. Okay, gentlemen, come on up here. So she just gave you an example. Yes, let's give them a round of applause. I need 3. Yeah. So this is the way that I explain what she just explained, okay? And this is something you can do in your living room. So, the 3 of you are going to be saturated fatty acids, okay? So, you remember, they don't need a mic, they're good, thank you. You remember the straws, right? Nice and stiff, so you're going to be straight like that stiff straw and stand shoulder to shoulder. There you go, shoulder to shoulder, you're a stiff straw, right? So if our cell wall or cell membrane is made up of saturated fatty acids, this is what it looks like. It's nice and tight. They all stack together really well. So all of us, we're living, we have forces that happen on our cells, right? And so when a force happens to a cell, when it looks like this, here's what happens. You notice all the way through, that energy was transferred all the way through. There was no place for that energy to go. So now, let's turn you into unsaturated fatty acids. Remember what Alexandra said. Unsaturated fatty acids have a bend to them. They're not straight. So gentlemen, put a bend in your cell wall. Okay? So now we have a cell that's made up of more unsaturated fatty acids. There's a bend to them. Now watch what... That is lovely. Wow. That is beautiful. So what happens now when a force happens? Look. I'm pushing. You see, there's place for the energy to go. Right? The cell doesn't have the effect of the energy all the way through it. Now you all feel this. When you were 20 years old and you went for a 3-mile run, how did you feel? Pretty good, right? You're like, oh, this is great. When you're 50 years old and you go for a 3-mile run, you go, oh, wow, right? I'm sore, my knees hurt a little bit, etc. Because more of your cells are made up of those saturated fatty acids. There's no place for that energy to go, and so you feel it in your body because that energy hits those cells all the time. It's very difficult. But if you're made up of those unsaturated fatty acids, the energy has a place to go in each of your cells, right? So this is something you can explain with your omega fatty acids. You want to be taking E-omegas. Why? Because every cell in your body needs to look like those 3, with the bends in the fatty acids. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. Bravo. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Okay, so next question. Does that make sense? All right.
Thank you. I'm Donna from Ireland, and a hot topic of a lot of my customer base at the moment is struggles with menopause. So if you can give me some examples of the best way to support ladies moving into their menopause era, that would be great.
So your question is, she has friends, I'm sure much older than she is, that are dealing with things like menopause and some hormonal shifts. And so she's wondering, what are things we can do to support that? Now, I'm a man, so I'm going to have Alex address that question, and I will add anything if I feel inspired to add anything.
Yes, so I'm a woman.
Yes.
And
She may know a little bit more about the hormones than I do.
I'm in the middle of my 40s, so so the transformation or the change in a woman is something really amazing because we have all over our lives changes. We have hormonal changes not only in the menopause. It begins early, and the menopause is something what can happen. Not all. It happens not suddenly. I'm in the menopause now, and after a year I'm gone. There are lucky women outside who can tell that, but in most of the cases, this can happen for decades.
Yes, we used to be, in medicine, we used to be trained that menopause was a moment in time. Like all of a sudden the switch turned off and you're good. What we now know is that there is something called perimenopause, which isn't a light switch, it's like a dimmer switch that slowly moves over a decade to eventually turn off.
Yeah, so it's a phase in our life,
Yeah.
and it's a phase we have to accept because it's really wonderful that when you feel that your body is changing and coming into a more rest, more balanced phase, because we're not anymore in this hormonal struggle, getting a lot of babies. We're more in a time where we can look better after yourself. And I think that menopause is different in every woman. And I think we can support women in the menopause with different essential oils. One thing is, I tried this in summer, was a spray, and I put in this spray peppermint, lavender, and clary sage. I love clary sage. Clary sage is such an amazing support for your hormonal balance. But women are different. So some women, they are really, like in pregnancy, there are some essential oils they like to smell, and some of them they really avoid. So sometimes we need to test it carefully. So I think we can give women a good support if we show them a lot of oils, and they choose first how they feel, and maybe also clary sage could be a good option for them. And we also have the phytoestrogens, right? And the phytoestrogens are also really is also a really interesting product, because it's not influencing negatively the hormonal support from the gynecologist. So we don't have to be aware, and we don't have to be medical doctors to recommend women in the menopause phytoestrogens, because it's no matter what they take, we can support them with phytoestrogens and essential oils as well.
Yeah, now I will say that I absolutely agree with what she was saying. Phytoestrogens are wonderful. Clary sage is actually an estrogenic oil, which is fabulous. I assume the peppermint is for the power surges, is what we like to call them in our home. Some people call them hot flashes, but we prefer a different connotation. But in addition to that, let me just tell you something that might be interesting. VMG, okay, with the vitamins that you get in VMG can be extremely helpful for perimenopause, because you need many of those vitamins as you go through that decade or so to help support the ovaries. The other thing that you need to know is all hormones come from cholesterol, come from your fatty acids. And so you need to have a healthy cholesterol, taking your omegas every day to make sure that you can produce as much estrogen as you can. What's happening in perimenopause and menopause is estrogen is going down, therefore testosterone goes down. Ladies, you do have some, right? And it comes from your estrogen. And so as that goes down, testosterone goes away, estrogen goes away. And so having good omega fatty acid supplementation actually supports a better experience during perimenopause and menopause as well. So making sure that you're doing that. The other thing that we've come to realize is that we talk a lot about microbiome. There's an estrobolome as well, meaning that your microbiome has a component of it that is responsible for helping you make your hormones. And so making sure that your microbiome is healthy will also make sure that your estrobolome is healthy and you are making as much of those hormones as you can during that time.
And if we talk about hormones and the difference in the menopause, we also have to talk about the muscle build down. So the problem is also in the menopause, this is a negative aspect, two aspects. One is the bone, and the second are the muscles. So I think minerals, and we have them in BMG Plus as well, like calcium is important, and also proteins. So women in the menopause, they need more proteins than before.
And generally, we all need to be eating more protein. I mean, when you look at the data now, we should be eating far more protein than we usually do. And I was looking at the breakfast buffet this morning and how much of it was carbohydrate versus protein. So, protein is important, prioritize that. Okay, next question. Yeah, you're welcome.
Hello, good morning. My name is Delian, I'm from Romania. And, I have a question which is in my mind for, let's say, a year, and that is, how does the essential oils affect our body, our biological, according to the place where we were born? For example, if I was born in Romania and I use essential oils that were extracted, I don't know, from 5,000 kilometers from the place I was born, how does this affect? Thank you.
That's a great question.
This is an amazing question. It's an amazing question.
I've been thinking for a long time about this.
Yeah, and I thought I heard something similar from the Romanians are really interested in this topic. Yeah, so thank you for that. You are really amazing. And I think the world and the nature gives us plants everywhere in the world, everywhere where it needed, with different ingredients and sometimes with similar ingredients, because in the beginning of the human history we can't travel so long. So people in South America, they had different plants than in the middle of Europe. And I think now that we have this opportunity that we can use a lot of plants all around the world, it's, I think, an amazing flash for our body, or it's an amazing opportunity that we can use ingredients with different structures all around the world. So we have to say, yeah, we are human beings. Yes, we are all similar. We still don't know the answer for that, but I was also thinking about this question, and I think yes, I think that a plant in your own country is more familiar to your body than for maybe a different person on the other side of the world. But I think it's beneficial for a person from the other side of the world to try a plant he never connects before in his life. And the great thing is, when we try the essential oils, we have almost no side effects. So we can try it and we can experience it. And let's share our experiences, because I think we truly don't know that. But I think we have to go more into this topic.
I would say this though, it occurs to me, so I grew up in the south of the United States, in the desert. And what you grow in the southern United States is very different than what you grow in, let's say, the northern part of the country. For instance, in our yard, we have a lemon tree, an orange tree, and a grapefruit tree in my yard growing up. So we have oils from those three things. What chemical compound do you think of with orange, grapefruit, and lemon? Limonene, right? So limonene, it would make sense if all of my ancestors came from southern Arizona, your body would respond really well to limonene, correct? Okay, so my mother and father-in-law live in Canada. So they live up there. Now, guess what? One of the things that trees in Canada, conifer trees, the ones with needles on them, one of the things that they express every day is limonene. It's not a citrus, but that chemical compound is in the air of the forests of Canada every day. You can't grow citrus in Canada, okay? It's too cold. But they get exposure to limonene as well, in a different way. And so their bodies, if they had all of their ancestors grow up in Canada, their body would have receptors to limonene and be able to do something with the limonene, just as my receptors would growing up in southern Arizona. And I cannot think of a chemical compound within oil that you only find in one place. You find them in various oils that come from all over the world, right? And so our bodies, it would make sense, would be able to use that chemistry, even though it's a different plant, they'd be able to use that chemistry and have pathways for that chemistry to be able to be utilized. So it's a very interesting question. I don't know as we have a scientific study that says yes or no to this question. You respond better to plants that only are in your area or your ancestors grew up. But I would say that there's enough variation of chemistry across the planet that we probably have equal responses to the chemistry no matter where we live.
Is here someone from Oman, Somalia, or Ethiopia? Do you know an essential oil with the ingredients or an essential oil from these countries? Yes, frankincense. And in frankincense, we have in the essential oil, we have the D-limonene, right? And the D-limonene is similar to the L-limonene. The difference is only the scent.
Right.
And I was so excited when I saw the essential oil from doTERRA, because we don't have only one from one resin, the frankincense inside. We have this from 4 different resins from 3 different countries. So I think it would be so interesting to see, because we are all agree, right, that frankincense is for all of you beneficial here in the room. And it's also beneficial for all the people outside of this room, and we are all not from the Oman, Ethiopia, or Somalia.
Right.
And the people there, they are also use this essential oil and the resin for generations, because it's also beneficial for them. But now it would be interesting, of course, if the combination of different resins would influence them as well. And I think yes.
Yeah?
I think yes.
It's interesting. Okay, let's do another question.
Hello everybody. My name is Thorsten, I'm from Germany, and I bring a question of one of our colleagues, our customers in the United States. You already alluded to the positive properties of VMG+. She would really like to use it, but she's highly allergic to pineapple. So the question is, can she take it, and is there probably a difference between the European and the US version of it?
That's a great question. That's a great question. So, if someone is highly allergic to something, that's something that we call anaphylactic. They have an anaphylactic response, which means the airway closes off, right? It swells, it closes off, they don't get air, and potentially you die. So, the benefits of VMG and death. Well, what should we do here? So, yes, could you benefit from VMG? Yes. Is it worth risking your life? No. And so I would tell them, absolutely not. Thankfully, you can take LLV, and you can continue with that, but I would not have that person take VMG. It's just simply not worth it. Now, it's a good opportunity to share with you that while we have amazing products, there are some people that a product might be a problem for. And that's okay, because we don't create products for 100% of the population. If we did that, we'd create this amazing product that would be a bottle of air. Nothing else. Because all of us can have an issue with something, right? And so we just want to make sure that as people are using the products, we say, tell me, do you have any allergies, do you have any issues? Oh, this one, you have a pineapple allergy that causes your airway to close off? Well, this does have a good amount of pineapple in it. We should not be taking this. It's just not worth that risk. That make sense? Yeah.
One final question. This will need a concise answer.
A concise answer. Well,
Hello, and thank you very much for having me here. I'm from Bulgaria, and I want to ask you, if someone for many years making healthy choices and start using doTERRA products or healthy choices, sometimes there is a crisis in the body, like rash or something else. How would you suggest for such people to go on?
okay, so your question is, some people that have made unhealthy choices for a very long time and then decide to make a change and begin using quite a few of our products and then have some sort of reaction, right? I would say that would be expected. Is that short enough, Sally? Just kidding.
But it's never too late to live the first day of a better life. So it's the best decision to say, okay, I lived my whole life a bad and unhealthy lifestyle, and now I change. And I think this is so important with all the bad decisions, what we are doing in our life. And but we have to give the people right answers. It's okay, and it's totally normal that not after day one everything will change, because they train their body for an unhealthy lifestyle for decades. So maybe we will need months or maybe years for a change. And with the essential oils, my experience is that they don't need so long what they did the bad decisions in the body to get a better lifestyle, because the essential oils, they work really fast and they work really well. But the people, we have to tell them that it needs time. And but they have to start with it.
Yeah, so I'm a fan of a concept called start low and go slow. Sometimes we get excited as leaders and moms as well as advocates, and someone comes to us and we're like, this is great, I've got 12 things that are perfect for you, let's start on all 12. And sometimes that's a bit too much for someone who has had a poor lifestyle for a very long time. And so I'm much more of a fan of, let's start with these 2 things. And this month, we're just going to do these 2 things. And we have them do those 2 things, and we follow up in a month and say, okay, so we're going to add to those 2 things these 2 things. And then we work on that for a while. Rather than the 12 things at one time, it gives us opportunity to work with them over time, help them change their lifestyle over time rather than all at once, and then help them not to have a bad reaction. Because what happens when they have a bad reaction? They go, I can't take any of this anymore, right? And we don't want that. So start low, go slow, work with them month after month after month on adding the next thing. So, okay, next question.
Lindsay here from the UK, and
No questions from Lindsay this time.
Could you do a fan trick, please? My question is about leaky gut. You mentioned that you have a demonstration that shows us how we can fix that and what the actual issue is. Just that, please.
My leaky gut demonstration. Okay, this is going to take a second. I need 3 more people up here. I need 3 more volunteers up here. Okay, right here. Lindsay, you're coming up? Who else? All right, right there. Perfect. Okay, so over here, I need you ladies to line up. Okay, Alexandra, can I use you too?
Of course.
All right, come on up here. So you're not going to line up with the ladies, you're going to be my chicken. Okay, so you ladies are going to line up shoulder to shoulder, okay? Now let me explain something to you. When it comes to your skin is several cell layers thick. It's very thick. It protects us very well because it's hard to get through it. Your GI tract, your gut, is 1 layer thick, okay? Meaning the inside of your GI tract and your body has only 1 layer between it. So it's very, very fragile, all right? Now, because of that, the GI tract has to be very selective as to what it absorbs. So here's our chicken, okay? Our chicken is traveling through the GI tract, okay? And enzymes in our microbiome is breaking the chicken down, okay? It's pulling pieces off of the chicken called amino acids, because since the chicken is a protein, and these cells take those amino acids and they put them into the body, okay? So the chicken travels through, they're just having amino acids. Now the body on this side, okay, is saying, okay, we see an amino acid, we know what to do. We're gonna go build tendons out of it. We're gonna go build muscle out of it, right? It's doing its job on this side. Leaky gut is different, now spread apart. Leaky gut looks like this. There are spaces between these cells now. And this is our problem with leaky gut. How many of you know someone that tells you, I can't eat this, and this, and they give you a list? Most of us in the room. And it's not typically one thing. It started with one thing, but over a year they can't eat this anymore, and they can't eat this anymore. Here's why. Because in leaky gut, the chicken is going through the GI tract, and it goes, oh, there's great space here. Boom. And it goes right between them, and the body, the bloodstream says, I don't know you. What are you doing here? I don't know chicken. I know amino acids. I don't know chicken. And so it mounts an immune response against the chicken and fights against it. So the next time that person eats chicken, the immune system goes, I don't like you, right? And then the next time they eat bread, right? It goes through, it says, oh, I don't like you, and the body starts to respond as you continue to eat this food. Now, what takes care of this problem? Your microbiome, when it's healthy, makes butyrate and acetate. Those things help these cells become tighter and tighter. These are called gap junctions. And so they get tight gap junctions in which you seal up those cells so that nothing gets through anymore. So now as the chicken proceeds to the GI tract, it goes back to its normal system of only allowing the broken down pieces of that chicken to be absorbed. Okay? Now the other thing that does this, seal these gap junctions, peppermint oil. Peppermint oils makes tight gap junctions in the GI tract. And so think Zengest, right? And think your peppermint oil on a daily basis, along with your PD Restore, that will give you that acetate and butyrate to make sure that you've sealed up your gap junctions and that this is nice and tight so that nothing gets through. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Can you all do this in your house? Guys, we are done with our time. Let me just tell you how grateful I am for each of you and what you do. One of the reasons, we were talking last night at dinner, one of the reasons we love our opportunity to interact with you is that we went into medicine to help people. That's why we decided to become doctors. And we're very passionate about that. What's beautiful about doTERRA is that each of you are doing this because you want to help people. And we feel honored to be partnered with you. As I look around the room, particularly at leadership, I don't think about business. Now I know that there are other people in the room that are like, wait, what? Because this is why we're here. Here's what I think about. I think about the number of people whose lives have been changed because of who you are. The number of bottles of essential oil that you have given away, not because it was the right thing to do for your pocketbook, but because it was the right thing to do for the person in front of you. How many of you have given away a bottle of oil for free? Everybody in the room. You did it because someone needed it, and that's what was most important for you. I am honored to be with you. Alexandra, we're honored to be with you. So thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.